Hello, Divine Sunshiners. Stay uplifted, stay motivated, stay ascended. Namaste, Namago. Hello, this is Divine Sunshine coming to you with a new feature. This is my 22 cents. What I'm doing is I am watching some videos that I see that actually needs to, that I feel that I want to add another insight to it. This one I'm looking at is Boss Tarot. His take on the divine masculine and the karmic situation with the sexual transmitted disease. And many of the series that I did, where I did the relationship one, which was the relationship between the divine masculine and the divine best friend, the mother and the father, he brings up the same point again. This best friend, or these friends that the divine masculine has had, has been kind of pretty much going for a while here. He's been having some enemies, sleeping with the enemies in this camp. And I was glad to see that he bought this out as well, as seeing that the divine masculine, it has this best friend who really does not have his best interests at heart. And so we're going to kind of just go through it, and I'm going to have his take on it. And then I'm also going to kind of stop in between and add my own commentary and add some cards to it as well, because this is something, and not, this divine masculine central, and I give the violet flame to clear and transmute any things that offset the divine masculines that's on here. These are not yours, but some of the divine feminines are dealing with divine masculines. That one of the reasons why they are not getting out of the relationship is because they are dealing with friends who keep them there. I've already spoken about also these friends are like crabs in the barrel, which are keeping the divine masculine out. When they're thinking about it, they go to this one friend, which they think is their friend, and they keep advising them in the wrong way about that. That's why you have to almost pray for your divine masculines, and praying and hoping that the people that they do go seek counsel from really is speaking the divine truth, and not just the truth that they want to hear. Because a lot of times when you set forth and you ask questions about things, when you ask for the truth, you can set forth for things that align with what you want to manifest, and you have to really set forth intentions out there that it's the opposite. So we're going to look, I'm going to stop and add commentary and then to this thing. So again, look at Boss Tarot. If you like what he's rocking with and what he's doing, please subscribe to his channel as well, because he's pretty much carries the same vibration throughout. Some things I agree, some things I don't, but if you like that telenova kind of drama and add it on to that, and I used to be that, and sometimes I add a little flavor onto it, but he does that straight with no chaser as well. And so this is one feature I like, because some of these tarot readings, maybe you might not have been know who they are, but again, like I said, with everybody, you take everybody with a grain of salt. Like how Kiki said, everything that sugar looks just like salt. So again, these are the things, again, if you like it rocking and he pretty much resonates with you, join him. If not, you say, no, he does too much for me, then it's again. But the element of the thing that he is presenting is something that has validation, and I want to bring this to your attention. All right, let's look through and let's look together and see about this tarot reading that he's bringing to us today.
2020. All right, guys, if you like this reading, please like, share, subscribe for me. Thank you so much. All right, guys, let's get started. Divine feminine, okay, it's going to be a hidden war on your divine masculine, okay? Your divine masculine doesn't realize he's not liked, okay? He doesn't realize that he has rubbed people the wrong way for years, okay? All the friendships that he really worked on trying to have his image that he's been trying to, put to the forefront, he doesn't know that these friends that he has as his allies are actually his hidden enemies, okay? They do not like your divine masculine, okay? They do not like him, okay? There's no love in the situation. The only love that was in the situation was you, okay? When you remove your love from the situation because you're healing, you're about your new journey, okay? You realize that, okay, this is a path that I'm not going to be going back and forth with, okay? I see this very toxic. I want to have something that's a strong level of love in my environment. I'm about to go ahead and make those particular moves, okay? He's going through a void of darkness. He's about to he's going to have a whole hell of a situation on this on his pathway. And you guys are going to see the residue as far as what's going to leave behind with his life, okay? Let's get started with the reading, okay, guys?
Okay, so here's the part where I add my 22 cents to. What he is stating there about the divine masculine not being liked is very much true for some divine masculines. I've had conversations with divine masculines in which felt as if that once they become divine, they had lost friendships. I also know that, again, it's kind of like another level in which they find themselves at. Again, I said that I said that in the reading that I had did, and he had just released it afterwards. I did the reading on Heart Divine Matters of the Heart channel. Go trek over there where it's saying beforehand the emotional check-in, which was stating that the divine masculine said that he felt that it was lonely. It was lonely at the top. The divine masculines are now coming to the point where they are actually seeing that that these friends that they so-called thought they had are not really on their side. I've already had stated that before, even on my channel as well. So I'm backing up and confirming what Boss Tarot has stated. And I know that even for my divine masculine as well, he is pretty much, even when I watch photos or I look at photos at film, interacting with his others, he sticks out like a sore thumb. Not because he's my divine masculine or my other half. Is because to me, the aura and the energy, it don't look like he matches up with the rest of the crew that he hangs in with. I could tell that the whole crew, and it's so funny, when I first met him, the whole crew, I had another guy who was interested in me, and he was like, those guys, they did something really weird. It's like when one of them had to go to the washroom, all of them went to the washroom, and it was like, what the heck? I remember the guy was like, he's like, what are they doing? That's so childish. I ain't never heard that before, that all guys go to the washroom together. That's the type of, you have to be there to see that. That's the type of crew that the DM was hanging out with. It to me is an immaturity, kind of like a girlishness. You know, like we say, I'm going to the washroom, and you bring your bestie with you. And, you know, most time the guys say, I'm going to the washroom, it's by yourself. Why all five of y'all got to go to the washroom? Now, my DM wasn't there that day because I remember he was working. But that gave me a good idea about his crew and who he's hanging with. And I remember one time he had left me alone. He wasn't there, and he was working again. And I went to go introduce myself, and they was like, his friends that were girls was like, go down there and introduce yourself to his friends. And I did, and they pulling all on me, and I'm like, if I say I'm with him, and although he ain't here, don't be trying to pull on me as if I'm like, you know, oh, I'm gonna try to, oh, it's like, well, you passing me around. What kind of stuff is this? So my thing is that they have some interesting mentality of friends that they are hanging out. I'm just giving that an example as well. So he's right about that. They are, and I talked about that best friend again, that is not on board with the divine masculine, and he is again hanging around with people crashing bell. That's the divine masculine's friends and families. Let's continue on and let's look on and see. But I want to put my 22 cents on that.
You got the Hermit card here, King of Pentacles, King of Cups. Had the Six of Swords, Seven of Rods, okay, conflict, confusion, Ten of Cups, Ace of Cups, Three of Swords, Ace of Pentacles, Page of Wands, okay, someone in the street doing what they ain't got no business doing, Three of Cups in reverse, the Lovers in reverse, and we had the Ten of Swords, okay. All right, so your divine masculine, he's been sitting back. He's been in hermit mode, okay? Since you've been gone, he's been really like, going back and forth, like, oh man, you know something, I miss my divine feminine. You know what I'm saying? Like, I really, he was greedy. He wanted his cake and ice cream too through the situation, okay? He put the karma before you guys or whatever. He put the karma before your interaction, and it's like, so he's like, oh man, I miss that light, I miss that love, I miss that interaction, okay? But guess what? He's in a 3D perspective, okay? He's in a 3D perspective, so it's like he's in hermit mode, but he's not on a divine healing pathway, okay? He's still approaching the relationship from a selfish perspective, okay? He missed your time, he missed your, you going out, doing all these things with you or whatever, but he's still not really deeply in his healing process, okay? Because he's stubborn. Okay, he's stubborn. He doesn't really want to admit all the wrong that he has done to you in the past. Okay, he still doesn't see things from like a big eye-opening situation, because guess what? He's like, okay, well, my life is going good. King of Pentacles, my life is going good. There's nothing that's really like coming from me at a big major fall. Okay, what I'm saying? I miss the physical connection that I have with this person. Okay, I miss the emotional connection that I had, King of Cups. Because like you sailed away. You said away. You're like, I'm not going to put myself in a situation, okay, Six of Swords, where I'm not going to get the value out the relationship, okay? You look at me like, you're like, boss, if there's no value, no real value that's coming to me, guess what? I don't want to settle for it, okay? I'm not going to be in something where I'm like, know that my value and my worth is just going to be just like looked at and smiled upon, like, okay, there. You're not.
Okay, so I want to stop right there and to add my little caveat to it. Is that understanding the divine feminine at the point that they are saying, okay, I'm not going to be there as well, but then I want to add also Spirit and Source has also caused that split in source for you all. Again, we've got to that point where the divine masculine is doing their things and the divine feminine is doing their things, and because of these energies here has caused for us to kind of be on two separate pages as well too. So again, we're finding our value. Why are we finding value? Because right now we are busy doing our own things, doing mission, getting better with ourselves. Something's not clicking. It's like, okay, I don't need this distraction. Let me just concentrate on self and get my things right. And if you still was clinging on to your divine counterpart, Source came in there and bust that up with the new moon, full moon, and all these moons coming in here, energies that's also here. And I showed you about the Schumann resonance as well, that's coming in there to also bust that up about us got to start now paying attention to our shadows. So again, the divine feminine is looking at her shadows and looking at the divine masculine shadows and saying, okay, which one do I deal with? Let me think about it. Like, if it's gonna be me and you, guess who I'm gonna choose? Me. All right, so that's where the divine feminine is as far as in the aspect as well. So let's continue.
You're not about that. You're about saying like, okay, boss, I want to manifest a good partner. I want to manifest someone that's going to be on my pathway, that's going to really be worth my time, worth my energy spiritually, okay? With you removing your spiritual presence for the situation, it's going to be a dark void for your divine masculine and that karmic, okay? It's going to be a huge dark void, because like I said right now, he's a hermit mode, but okay, he's covered with, the luxury, I'm saying, everything's going in his pathway for now. But he doesn't realize that his friends in his circle are planning an attack on his ass, okay? All right, this Seven of Rods energy right here, he has been really in his friend's ear in their corner or whatever, really like, really, he put himself above his friends, okay? He doesn't know how to speak to people, okay? Your divine masculine is very, like I said, careless with his mouth, okay? Careless how it was with you with communication, okay? Careless how it was with as far as like, you don't really put a value towards you. He's really careless. He's that way towards people in his circle as well too, okay? So the thing about it is, when you're dealing with men who have jealousy towards you or whatever, who have a very dark energy, a dark spirit with you or whatever, they're going to utilize that energy with you pretty soon, okay? Because if they're not coming from a 5D perspective as far as self-growth, you know what I'm saying like, because real men, okay, if they don't vibe with a dude, they're not chilling with a dude, okay? They ain't going to be chilling with a dude as far as like, saying like, okay, well, you don't respect me, because the big thing for men is respect. Your divine masculine doesn't know how to respect men, okay? He doesn't know how to respect men. He doesn't know how to respect his friends. And the thing about it is, so when you have a brotherhood of brothers around you or whatever, you know what to say, what not to say or whatever, but he comes from a very elitist type of mindset that he doesn't know he's stepping on people's toes, okay?
Okay, so let me add back to this, and I can put a backstory to this. This is my 22 cents on that. Some of the reasons why the divine masculine does not know how to be able to talk to people or men in general is because we go back to that childhood wounding again. So as far as childhood wounding, he has an issue in that because of father or also mother, abandonment issues, rejection, all of those things come out in the wash and deal with everybody. And like I said, everybody gets colored that same color, no matter if they're friend or foe, a boss or whatever, they'll do that. And I am in agreement with him about that arrogance things, because I can see that even things as far as my divine masculine energies within and so without. Sometimes I have to even check. Like, okay, all right, okay, we don't have to, okay, Archangel Raphael, you ain't got to agree with it. But like, it's like, okay, all righty, now, let's watch the tongue, let's watch the mouth on some things. And I can see that I'm humble with it, but he takes it off the rail, because a lot of times I have to kind of say things to him to kind of say, okay, it's a saying, and I'm not going to say it, that I have. And he's like, okay, yeah, I'm going to try. That it's a reminder for him to be nice to people on the job. And so then, that I could tell. So everybody's catching it. And let me add that. It ain't even just the friends. It ain't even just mama, daddy. The karmic is really catching it, especially on them days that they stressed on. So everybody is catching it. And so, like I said, they could be arrogant. I can see that too as well, because within them, you have to give them a little bit. Something instinctively, they know that they are divine. Something about them know that they move and have their being, and their finesse and how they handle things is different. He can tell, even because, again, that's just like a person saying they know they got that special gift. And when, like, hey, I thought everybody did that. I even said that on the show. I thought everybody did. Find out, no, everybody don't have that. Oh, wait a second, I got superpowers? Oh, so like you can tell me something and I can really weed through it. Like mine is, kind of like a lie detector. And so I'm a human. I thought everybody was human lie detector. Oh, everybody don't have that gift? Oh, wow, man, am I going to use this for the betterment of my own good? So it's like, I can see how I can manifest things as divine, and manifest this karmic situation, and manifest this house, and manifest this car, and manifest this job, that, so I can make sure that I'm looking good, smelling good, and being the envy of all. In some ways, I'm kind of turning and digging it into you to let you know I am better, but, though I'm acting like I'm one of you, but at the same time, I'm reminding you that look at this house, look at this car, look at my job. I ain't out there on the corner like y'all do, but we hanging together. But still, again, that doesn't make a difference. So again, that's for not all divine masculines, but these are the ones that's kind of still trying to play catching up with the Joneses. As well, but knowing that there's something special about them, that this divine masculine is saying is, he knows, he smells something's different with him. He's still in his Clark Kent. He ain't Superman yet, all the way. Or like Neo from the Matrix. It's like, okay, he's just like finding out, they telling him, and he downloading and getting all this stuff to be able to do the karate moves. He ain't all the way down there at the secret way. He down there battling with Agent Smith. Yeah. Or Agent Anderson. He ain't down there when he doing like at the subway, and he doing it automatically and like this, and running through the building and going through Agent Anderson. He ain't there yet. He just like this. He at the stage. This divine masculine is at the stage where they just found Neo, red pill, blue pill, and he going to the lady to talk about it right as rain with the cookie and trying to bend the spoon. He ain't all the way down at the end of the movie yet. So this is the time of divine masculine we talk about that's woken. Okay, let's continue on and let's see what he's talking about.
He doesn't know that, okay, like, those that he's trying to rub shoulders with, trying to be with the elite. He actually, like I said before, they're planning an attack on his ass because they see him as an outsider. Okay, they see him as an outsider. Actually, you are a part of that first attack, that first wave, because it's like, okay, they were putting buzz in his ear to say, okay, yeah, you need to, get rid of the divine feminine. Okay, something. Okay, you had this karmic at home. You know what I'm saying? Like, what you talk about, a loving relationship or whatever. What you talk about, this girl was meant for you. All this stuff. You talk about twin flame. Man, that ain't realistic. That's not really like, what you do. You got practicality at home. You got, what I'm saying? Like, you get your needs. Look at you. You got your car. You got your Mercedes. You got everything taken care care of or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, and not know, you guys were growing too. You're already on your pathway as far as growth. You're already doing your thing or whatever. But his friends tried to sway him to stay as bad advice from with this karma. They knew the hell that was going down with the karma.
And this is exactly why I tell you all, you got to consider the source and you got to watch who you're talking to. Because again, everybody's twin flame is different. And definitely you know better than to talk to the average Joe out there because they don't know. All right, let's go back.
They knew that was a bad advice move that they were doing. But they were like, I don't like your divine masculine. I'm going to give him any ounce of bad advice to ruin his life, okay? Because they're jealous of him, okay? They're jealous of him, baby. And he don't realize that jealousy runs deep, okay? It runs deep since he first started interacting with them, okay? They still have animosity as far as past conversation, past viewpoints, past things that this man has said to them. And they're like, it still rubbed me the wrong way. A real man, if they rub a wrong way with a guy, they're like, look, I'm done. Okay, this ain't my homie, okay? This ain't, you know, I'm about to go about my business or whatever. It's okay, you know what I'm saying? But these guys, okay, they low vibration. They're like, oh, I want revenge on this brother right here. I want revenge on this brother right here, okay? I'm going to take his ass down because they going through financial hardships. His friends are going through financial hardships or whatever. He has one in particular, a friend that he's really close to or whatever, that's really facing some harsh things in his life or whatever, and that's been his listening ear, okay? So, like, this friend has been like, you know, saying like, okay, like, you know something, things are not been going on with my life right, okay? My financials are not right properly or whatever. So, like, you know, so, yeah, I'm going to take every ounce of happiness away from this guy strategically, okay? He's dealing with a very strategic, evil friend.
All right, let's delve into this friend because I'm curious to know about what's happening with this person's motives. What's going on with them? Okay, so let's delve into see about what's happening with his energies. Clear. He claims that he is the divine masculine's angel of strength. He believes that he keeps the divine masculine rooted. And he really understands the role of the divine feminine being the goddess of moon. So he really tries to help the divine masculine to help him to get, he's a thinking man. He thinks that he's helping the divine masculine to get more clarity on things. He wants everything underneath the sun, especially a divine feminine of his own. He has an appreciation for the divine feminine secretly, okay, what she could bring to this, because again, we got this door to romance. This guy here might want the divine feminine for his own self. But I see here at the top of the thing here, we have here, he's also adjacent. Not adjacent, he's also attached to 3D ideologies too, and he also in his emotions is wearing a mask that needs to be taken off as well. That's some issues that's going on with him. Let's look and see. Clear. What's actually going on with this guy? What's his motives? What's this best friend's motives? Maiden of Pentacles. I don't think I kept them things up here. Nope. Maiden of Pentacles. Raccoon. So in his thing, he is really, so things got to fall away from this friend too, because it's got fog here. We got a squirrel. He's really working on collecting some things behind the scenes for himself. We got a raccoon, which raccoons is kind of, they got that mask on too, and they little sneaky little also creatures too, nocturnal, move at the night. Having some more knowledge about that. Let me see, my phone is on there though. Let me see if I'm able to. Took a picture of that when I come back to that. Let's look up what raccoons are. Okay. Raccoon symbolism is all about protecting and also having the belief in your own self to go ahead and achieve things in life. You have the intellect and wisdom to deal with situations and to then make progress without being hindered by your own lack of faith in what you are doing. So that's interesting they had there. But to me, when I look at this, is having belief in oneself. It's like, to me, this man, his best friend, is like, I'm team me. I'm about myself. He's intellectual, and I said it before. This best friend is just as smart as the divine masculine. In some ways, I heard the spirit say maybe even smarter in some aspects as well. Because he's, again, I told you, this best friend got street smart, when the divine masculine himself has more so like the book smart. And this is where it's like I can go neck and neck with you as well. And so this is something, this is like, to me, this is why I'm picking up native. Like, he's really native to the land. Like I say, the street. He understands this. This divine masculine has a weakness because he's not as streety or as cunning about the streets as he thinks that he portrays to be. And this is how this divine, this best friend, divine masculine's best friend, is kind of seeing that opening in which he can just crawl right on in. So let's continue on and see. But I'm giving you a backstory as to this best friend as well.
Okay, the first step was you. Okay, he got you out the way. This friend got you out the way. Okay, the second step, okay, is saying like the friend's coming in his pathway, saying like, okay, I'm trying to, like, you know, man, we can replace this divine feminine. Okay, you want something, you want a distraction away from home because you guys were not giving in to saying like, I'm not gonna have any relationship with you. This is not gonna be a physical relationship. I want a real relationship. You got the karmic. I want something serious. Guess what? I do not want the friendship. Okay, if there's nothing gonna be that's added to the table, I do not want it. Okay, and guess what? So this friend that he's confiding with, this friend's like, you can find another one, man. You can find another one. Trust me. Okay, all this stuff or whatever she's saying or whatever, you know what I'm saying? You can find somebody. So they set him up because they try to ruin his happiness. Okay, to the cups. 10 of Cups. And the big Ace of Cups in reverse is he's falling for the bait. The Ace of Cups in reverse is this friend is going to set him up as far as they're going to have a nice little gathering, nice little interaction where it's like, okay, you know something, at the end of the day, he's going to show him, your divine masculine, different options, okay? That's what they're doing. So they up there, whatever, nice elite party or whatever. He going to show like, oh, yeah, you know, you see her? You know what I'm saying? How you like her? Oh, yeah, you know what I'm saying? It's going to be a good, pleasant little conversation. He's trying to, like, see where your divine master is saying, like, man, we can get your mind distracted, okay? That's his weakness, distractions, okay, into another relationship, trying to rid this energy away from you. The person that your divine masculine is going to pick, the friend is fucking around with the girl as well, too. Your divine masculine doesn't know that. That's behind the veil, okay? The biggest thing about this relationship or whatever that's going to go on or whatever, because he's like, okay, well, like, you know something, I want the intimacy. Instead of healing the right way, 5D way, saying like, okay, look, you know something, let me take a risk with my divine feminine. Let me go about my pathway in the right way. Let me go about my pathway to say, you know something, let me live my life how I want to do, making action-oriented plans. He gonna take the easy way out. He gonna take the easy way out as far as saying meeting someone who's like, you know, like a replica of you, okay? But at the end of the day, he don't even realize, okay, that's what I'm saying. I really do believe that, like, okay, with your divine masculine, somewhere in this chart, he has some air placements. I think, like I said before, like, you know, with Mars, his Mars may be Aquarius, and like the thing about it is, with Aquarius energy, you have to be aware of hidden enemies at all times or whatever. Like I said, so the things that you pursue in Mars is what men pursue as far as like what they actually want. So if he has a Mars in Aquarius, his pursuit, he has to be aware of his pursuit because he could be pursuing the enemy, okay? So he could be in a very pursuit of the enemy, okay, that he's sleeping with, okay? So they're starting to have this interact. They're going to have this interaction, this bond. They're going to have this sexual relationship together, okay? While this girl is sleeping with the best friend. Your divine master doesn't know about that. The best friend Okay, he's been depressed. He's been going through situations or whatever too. Has an animosity towards your divine masculine, whatever. He has an STI. Okay, he has an STI. He's gonna give that STI to the girl that your divine masculine is sleeping with. Okay, the biggest thing is to ruin his 10 of cups and his happiness. Okay, that's the biggest thing, because it's like this man knows that he has a disease, okay? He knows that he has a disease, this friend that is close to your divine masculine or whatever. But he's like, okay, well, look, I'm going to, since I got rid of your divine feminine, the next step is going to come for your health, okay? The next step is going to come for your finances. I'm going to ruin that because you're too, he's like, I'm tired of this man complaining to me or whatever. He don't understand what my life is about right now, okay?
Okay, so now let's take it to a spiritual thing, because I can feel, and I again invoke the violet flame of transmute and clear and transmute anything in showing this. So let's take a spiritual twist on it. He did the 3D reality of it. My friend Ray has sent me a book on it was like healing self. It was by, is it Louise Hayes? Not Louise Hayes. About, I'll find who it is actually by. But in this, it states, and I'll, at the next one I'll talk about it, what it is. I'll look for it while he's talking. It talks about different health things, and I always tell you that, and myself and April have too. And one thing, when I looked up what is these kind of sexual diseases and what they represent, it stated that anything of this kind of thing is the thing that they're suffering from, a person is suffering from, is sexual guilt, need for punishment, believe that the genitals are sinful or dirty or abusing another. Okay, so this divine masculine's best friend and him, because again, some of these, so if this is not you, you don't suffer from addictions, from sexual addictions. And we know a lot of divine masculines, we've heard that from all plethoras of readers have stated that some of these divine masculines have serious addictions to things, and one of them is sex, person, place, or thing, and that's one thing, drama or whatever. If this is your person and you know that it has some sexual trauma or some sexual thing, this is another way of looking at it. Not maybe even catching STI or some sexual disease, but understanding that this spirit or this energy is being passed around in his circle of friends. So not only he suffers from it, but his best friends do as well. So this is something that, again, after the act of probably doing this with this karmic, this other one that's coming in, she is also going to put another layer of sexual guilt on them by maybe, even if they don't catch any kind of sexual disease or anything. Let's say, again, the thing is, like they say, I call feels. So the things of it is that he exchanged. That's why we say when you have sex with another one, you exchange energy. So even if this person is not suffering from that, again, it's going to bring some sexual guilt on the divine masculine, the same guilt that this best friend has, that this best friend feels from this young lady as well. So he's going to feel afterwards, this is a spiritual look at it, need for punishment. And this is feeding into it. Here again, I did another dumb thing that said to me way back, much further from me getting with my divine feminine. Now I got to deal with this darn karmic, because maybe it might not be a cult something, but also would be that the karmic has caught the divine masculine, again, cheating and going outside of their connection as well. And so here comes another thing. So again, this is feeding into this thing that this divine master has not handled from the sexual trauma that they had as a child, or them being able to view sex in a more healthy way, of them continuously looking for love in all the wrong places. And this also is bringing on, while you're having that kind of disease, a sexual disease, again, is because abuse of another. These friends, again, this friend already said within him, he's ready to attack by any means necessary, find a way to get back at the divine masculine. He figures this is his way to do that. He passes that spirit from the woman from him to the woman, to the divine masculine, that energy. Okay, so this is another way, even if you come out clean and they say you're negative for the thing, but it's still an energy exchange that has occurred between the three of them, and now that he's got to tell the karmic about it because came out. I said in another video where it's another thing that was going around too, that the karmic was also outside doing something, and she catches something and brings it back to the divine masculine. We know what this thing is like, many multi-levels to it, but something about it that we see is going through the air, that the karmic or the divine masculine is finding himself that he's got to come back and come clean and tell about his outside extracurricular activities outside of the connection. And this is what we're dealing with at this time. So really, yeah, so she sent me a next thing for if this is you, divine masculine, and you know that you suffer from this. She sent me a beautiful affirmation for those of you all that's doing that, to say, I'm lovingly and joyously accept my sexuality and its expression. I accept only thoughts that support me and make me feel good. So if that's something that you know you want that's in this situation, and you like, you know, I didn't want to talk to anybody, but this sure sounds like this is my story. Like I said, that is a nice affirmation that she sent me along with the book that you should be practicing. Let's continue on and listen in and see what he says.
With this disease that's going on right now with Corona, this is having a lot of people like really in a space of, as far as like a lot of hidden animosity, a lot of hidden jealousy. Okay, and your divine masculine is just so gullible, he doesn't realize that he's not liked in any situation. Okay, when you're unapologetic to all your relationships. It could be your friendships, it could be your relationships with your partner. He's unapologetic, and guess what? His circle is getting tired of that. Okay, so this girl is going to wind up giving your divine masculine a STI, and that's going to have him in a Three of Swords type of perspective. Because at the end of the day, with him having this STI, he already knows that he has to go to this karmic and tell this karmic that he has an STD. Okay, he has an STD or whatever, because this karmic's been on a very chill type of perspective. At the end of the day, the karmic knows it's like, okay, well, you know, so she triggered him as well to get rid of you during the interaction, during the relationship. So she's like, her defenses and her wall is so like coming down, not knowing that, because her main focus was like, okay, it was on you. Okay, divine feminine is on you. Like, okay, this girl is in my way, da da da. But at the end of the day or whatever, guess what? You like, look, at the end of the day, you coming in like a survivor, Destiny's Child. You like, my mama taught me better than that. Okay, guess what, baby? I'm not gonna be trying to interact with your dude. Go ahead, you can keep him. Okay, guess what? Guess what? I'm gonna manifest my own path in my own life. Guess what? And I'm not gonna do it in a Three of Swords type of energy. Your energy has been gone. So,
and again, not even only what your mother has said. Again, sources came in, and with these energies that's going on now, has made you have to split. Even if you was holding on to them like Color Purple, and when they were trying to split up both of them at the end, Miss Celia and her sister, and they hold on to the chair, to the tree, and he dragging her all down the stairs, and she's like, my sister, and all that stuff, and she's like, Celia, and all that stuff. It didn't matter if you was playing those roles with the divine master and calling for him, and Mr. was played the role of the karmic divine feminine, the karmic male or karmic feminine or masculine. It's still, source came in there and said, hey, that's it. Now you all both got to go and do your work. So again, sources came in also was another thing that made sure that at this time it needed to be separation. And some of that came in the form of COVID. Some of it came again that helped you to separate. Some of it is because you seeing that going on, saying I'm tired of the BS, I got to do my own thing. So there were a lot of plethora of factors in it that played a part that why you was at that point to say it's call it quits. As long as well as what he's saying about looking at that, some of you all's mission and purpose, your job, your kids, family, something else came along, said that, you know what, I got to let this go and I got to concentrate on other things. Okay, let's continue
on that. So she's allowing like him to have like a little bit of like, you know, recreational fun, meaning like, okay, well, these are your homies, your friends or whatever. So let me just lower my guard down a little bit or whatever. But the minute she lowered the guard down or whatever, his homies are playing. It's like, man, they mad that he has stability. They mad that this girl is, like I said before, they're mad at two things. They mad that they saw you giving your love and light. They're like, dang, why this man getting all this love and light like this? Okay, why did he got this other girl or whatever, like taking care of some needs at home or whatever? This man is like, you know, he got this support system. They jealous of hell. They're jealous as hell of the support system excuse me. They're jealous of hell as at the support system that your divine masculine is getting. Okay? Woo, let me get it out, spirit. Lord Jesus. They're jealous as hell of that. Because at the end of the day, they're like, I don't have that in my life. I don't have that in my arena or whatever. And guess what? I'm gonna ruin it. Okay? I'm gonna ruin it because guess what? I'm on my own pathway or whatever towards destruction. And I see that someone is dangling this carrot in front of my face that's never grateful for nothing or whatever. They have a major dislike of him. Okay? Because they see that Ace of Pentacles, they're like, I'm gonna rid him of this Ace of Pentacles. So while he has this STI, whatever, the little girl that was trying to be replaced in this situation that was recommended by the friend of the perspective, she's gonna go to the best friend of your divine and say, did this come from you or whatever? He gonna deny it and say that ain't come from me or whatever. What are you talking about? So of course it's gonna go back to send it to the divine masculine or whatever, and she's gonna tell him that, okay, you know something, I have an STI, okay? Because this girl's been around the block, you know what I'm saying? So she doesn't know where it stemmed from or whatever. At the end of the day, she knows she got it, and the divine masculine knows that he has it or whatever. That's putting him in the big Three of Swords perspective.
Again, here we go with the energies again of we are swapping. That's why I say birds of a feather flock together. Again, that energy, because a like attracts that type of situation right now, because that is the consciousness that this divine masculine is operating from, and he's causing for these towers to come in the form of this, again, swerving about the guilt about sexuality, the guilt about who he is. He's getting the same people around him, this best friend, this young lady, all of them are interchanging this thing, and which again, at the end of the day, causes for the divine masculine to feel guilty about this sexual thing. Most of the time, some of the divine masculines get into this karmic situation because of this sexuality, the sex thing, the sex addiction, something about this person puts them on them, and the voodoo that you do so well makes you want to shoot so much that they find themselves going in that direction with this person, and so this is where they are. So that's why I just want to add into that my 22 cents. All right, let's continue.
Because he's like, what the hell is going on? Okay, how am I going to go to this karmic to tell her that I've been out here messing around, being a little fuckboy in these streets? Okay, being a little fuckboy in these streets or whatever, you know what I'm saying? And I thought I was rebuilding this trust factor or whatever, but he didn't learn nothing. Okay, he didn't learn no spiritual lessons. And guess what? We don't learn any spiritual lessons the easy way when it comes down to you, like as far as like really accepting the pathway, as far as to say, look, let me go about change. Guess what? The big, they're going to rip on your life, okay? And he's seeing that big rip too, okay? Because he has to go to that karmic and say, like, you know something? I did this behavior, okay? Stuck around with somebody else, and that karmic's going to have a whole mental fit in the situation, okay? She's going to go ape shit crazy on this ass, because at the end of the day, it's like, okay, well, you just said, you ain't even the king, okay? I thought this was a divine feminine problem. This is a you problem. But guess what? She manipulated the relationship. And when you manipulate the relationship,
And
this is the shit that you get.
This
is the shit that you get. And she's seeing that. She's seeing that. Since I manipulated the relationship, this is the shit I'm getting, okay? This man is not mature. He's not emotionally mature. He up there, he lies, okay? He's corrupt, okay? And all this other stuff, whatever. He's been appeasing me through the relationship or whatever. She's like, I'm about to rip away any financial security that I have for you, okay? I'm going to rip this away. All the stability that you think that you got from me or whatever, it's going to be gone, okay? This karmic is saying all the stability that I have in your direction is going to be ripped away from you. And guess what? He's in Three of Swords because he already knows his family, okay? I'm getting a mother figure, could be a father figure. Someone's sick, okay? They need the resources. They need stability in their pathway. Okay, so your divine masculine's been utilizing this karmic to really take care of his family members that are sick. The family members think that the money is coming from your divine masculine. It's coming from the karmic. Okay, that's what they think. Okay, so it's like
that is true. That has some validity. It's also between, and I'm channeling. It's not even the mother and the father, but it's also the children that's playing a part. So if they got children from previous marriages or previous relationships, they're playing a part as far as tugging on his resources and money. He's taking that to help them out. And as well, across the board, all of the readers have said that these divine masculines have a lot of responsibility. That is why they're finding themselves going, like, becoming workaholics, because they got to work to escape the karmic, but also to escape what's all going on. But they also have to do this work, and gain extra hours, because they got a lot of people hands. They're telling me a lot of hands in their pocket. And so that's one of the reasons why they went with this karmic. Some of them believe that they had money, but once they got into it, they said, hell, you just as poor as I am. So we both looking at each other, and she looking at him, saying, woo, well, now I ain't got to do what I was doing and hustling, because now you're here. And so he done made up this great big facade. This is, I'm telling now, that he's Big Daddy. And now she looking at him like, okay, well, what you gonna do? And he looking at her like, what you gonna do? And so some of them, like I said in a couple of my reasons, I've stated that they've been in their pocket, that the karmic has been taking and ciphering off of their bank account and taking money for themselves and doing things like that. So now this is all coming up to a head.
So with this karmic's like, okay, ate shit crazy bad, or about to sit there and what's going on or whatever, he's in desperation, because at the end of the day, it's like, I made the wrong damn decisions or whatever to have outside relations, okay, trying to replace my divine feminine with somebody or whatever that was just like a little thought outside, you know what I'm saying, sleeping around with the thought outside or whatever, and it got me out in a very loveless predicament, okay, because at the end of the day, he didn't love the karmic, he was using the karmic, and guess what, at the end of the day, he's learning, he said, look, when a man is unhappy, he has to make sure that he makes the right actions to get his life back on happiness. He can't be relying on somebody to take care of his needs, his bills, finances, and stuff like that or whatever. That's not what men do. That's not what men do. He's living like a little boy, okay? So at the end of the day, so it's like you doing passive aggressive shit because you're not happy in the relationship. So it's like, well, let me dang try to manipulate my way. Since the divine feminine's not here, whatever, I'm still going to do things in a 3D perspective, very low vibing, and try to replace her with cheating, okay? And still try to drain someone else's finances. Guess what? His world is coming apart, okay? Because there's no...
And again, this proves to me, I think about the movie Baby Boy with Tyrese. Again, this proves what I said about he's got this divine masculine. And remember, again, I want to constantly say that this is not all divine masculine. This is not going to resonate with everybody in this. But what I am saying is this particular divine masculine, and I picked him up before, even our reading. So now he's coming back, and he's coming through Boss Tarot 2 in his reading, is like Baby Boy, that movie Tyrese. Go look at the Baby Boy by Tyrese, where they say he's a man, but he's still a baby, and you think he's got it all, but he's not. And why was it? Because if you looked at the movie there, the baby boy was played by Tyrese Gibson, was missing a father figure. The father figure was not present. He was not very much active role in there, and if he was, it's like I see him, I don't see him. And all of us can see, again, in some of our divine masculines, a good majority of them, not all of them. I think about class names, so don't say everybody, that is, they have suffered that plight, some of the divine masculine, and this is why they're acting out in that way. They're looking for love in all the wrong places. They're getting in relationships as if they did practice in those self-love and value. Some of them would not have fell for the okie doke. They would have been able to resonate and see about this. Some about this signal, and a lot of times the divine masculine and the divine feminine, and the karmics, they resonate slightly on the same vibration. They cannot deter or discern between the two of them, unless they sit there and really know themselves and saying, wait a second, because again, these karmics can only hold that facade up for so long. They cannot continue to hold that for long periods of time. So again, with these karmics, you have to think about as well how the divine masculine and divine masculine and these karmas are going to eventually fall out of orbit when one of them ascends or goes to the next level. You can either get lower than where you are and you're going to repel, or you can get higher and you're going to repel. No matter who's going to do it, it's still going to cause one or two of them to repel from each other. Somebody got to release. So that's what, when I'm belching, I mean, it's a major release. It's a releasing that's got to go on here. But I just want to add that 2 cents in there about the karmic situation and where they are. It's like now at that time they felt that they were actually on that frequency as the same as the divine feminine. But again, they mimic for a while because again, like I've told you before, ain't nobody gonna come out and tell you, you know what, I'm gonna rob you of your money. You know, I ain't gonna be good, no good. My kids is gonna get on you. They gonna steal from you. They gonna cuss you out. You know, and I think so. Do you want to be with me? No, ain't nobody gonna sell for that. Ain't nobody gonna sign up for no mess like that. So the best way how I'm gonna do that is that I'm gonna mimic what the divine feminine, her energies is. I'm gonna put on the best front because I want you to come this way. I want to entice you. I gotta up my game from the divine feminine. Divine feminine is telling you about yourself. I don't tell you about yourself. I just let you know you welcome. I put that good on you and whatever, and then you don't come on over this way. As soon as you get there, I got you. And then we start the mind, I was about to say the mind fuckery, but the mind trickery, excuse my French, once you get in. So that's just another thing. So let's continue.
This environment. He doesn't know that loveless environment stems from the friend in the circle, okay? It stems from the friend. That friend has been setting him up from ages, okay? He's been waiting for his demise. That friend, that divine masculine's friend, has been waiting and planning on his life because he's like, I'm mad that you have all these opportunities. I want you to be miserable like me, okay? Misery likes company, and guess what? Misery wants him broke. Misery wants him broke. Misery wants him without resources, okay? They want him to be on the same pathway with them, low vibes, so they can turn back and say, you ain't no different than us, okay? You ain't no different than us. You ain't got nothing going for yourself. You ain't got nothing going in your pathway. You're no different than us in the perspective. And that's what's going on, guys. That's what's going on. This friend, his friendship circle is swaying him into a dark void, okay? Guess what? Because it's like, because he got to go back to this karmic and tell her that, look, he has an STD. You may want to get checked out. And she going to be like, well, what? What is divine feminine? It's like, no, it ain't no divine feminine. I'm out here in the streets with one of these thoughts, okay? Look. This is the man that she was manipulated for, okay? This is the man that she was manipulated for, trying to get with, trying to like go about her life with or whatever. And guess what? That's what she got. Because she is a karmic. She ain't supposed to have him. That's what she got, okay? You know what I'm saying? When you trying to rush a relationship, you try to invest in a relationship that's not supposed to be yours, guess what? This is what you get. This is what you get. And guess what? He's like in a Ten of Swords perspective because this is the beginning of the downfall, okay? The beginning of the downfall of the situation because it's like he doesn't know who to trust. He doesn't know who to go about his way of pathway with because it's like, you know, it's like my friends or homie or whatever, they recommended me to go about, you know, this girl that was a distraction. Guess what, homie? Own up to your shit. Stop playing the victim, okay? Guess what? You chose to walk away from the divine feminine, okay? You chose to cheat on the karmic, okay? You chose to dang fuck around with this dang distraction or whatever, okay, while you're in a relationship, okay? Own up to your shit. Own up to your shit. He has to be faced with owning up to his shit, owning up from his perspective, because guess what? At the end of the day, if he doesn't do that, it's going to be hell to play in the situation, okay? And he's getting that hell, okay? What he thought was, like, you know, he could be in that pseudo peace or what, that little, like, you know, the delusion or whatever, that fantasy is ripping apart in his life. That fantasy, the perspective, that fantasy as far as like making sure that, you know, things are aligned like in his way, like, you know, from manipulation, guess what? It's ending in a Ten of Swords, okay? And this is only the first step of his unhappiness, okay? It's going to get worse. When you go about, like, going against your divine pathway as a divine masculine, as a divine feminine, it's going to get worse, okay? That Ten of Swords is going to be really, really on your back because guess what? You could have made the proper decisions along the way. All right, guys. All right. Like I said before, I also got a warning for you guys. If you guys are still involved with this guy sexually, cut it off. That's a warning. Cut it off. This ain't the brother like this. Ain't, look. If you're tempted, cut it off. Okay? Go on to your new beginning. Go about your way. Because what he's going to do is, I know this video run a little bit longer today. Normally, you know, you guys, I'm in and out, but I just want to make sure I get all the details with this or whatever. It's, you know, got me all like, whoa, got me hyping a little bit like, whoa, this is a whole lot of shit. What he's going to do is, he's going to come to you with his ten of Swords energy, talking about, okay, oh, my family member has been sick, you know what I'm saying, trying to like go on your path of empathy. They're trying to get your empathy all the way worked up, saying like, you know, my father's been going through some things, my mother's been going through some things, they're ill or whatever, you know what I'm saying, at the end of the day or whatever. And this man is going to be leaving out chapters. So he's thinking that, okay, well, you don't know what's going on behind the veil of the situation. The man got an STI. He got an STI, okay? The man is like, look, let me tell you something. He is not in a healthy space, okay? He's trying to get energy from you. He's addicted to you sexually. He missed your sexual energy or whatever. And it's like he's in a desperation type of mode, okay? Do not sleep with this brother, okay? I tell you this. Do not sleep with this brother because he's going to come in trying to give you just, okay, this is what my life has been going, just to get this empathy, to feel good about the situation. Baby. Okay, you see the message, he sent you a message, okay, or whatever. If you do respond, say, wish you well, okay? Or if you do respond, if you don't respond, look, baby, that's okay too. But this man got some shit that he going through, okay? This is the first wave of the shit, okay? Don't let your life be tied down by this crazy dude right here, okay? He got a whole lot of shit going on. Don't touch that food. Don't touch that food, okay? Look, Page of Wands, okay? Fuck boy, don't touch him. Okay? All right, guys, this is your reading for August 2020. If you like this reading, please like, share, subscribe for me. Thank you so much. Have a good one.
Okay, so you know that's what he's saying about him. I told you what STI means, sexual transmitted thing. So what I want to add on is a thing about, you know, my thing is I always talk about what's the solution, what things is. So let's delve just very quickly in this last so we can make it in an hour. And delving into this divine masculine here is that he's got to get into magician mode. He's got to get into the point that he is actually coming up with his solutions to this problem that's going on. So he's going to have to create this sucker pretty much out of thin air as well. He really feels right now that he is betrayed by this situation as well. So in his emotions, he feels betrayed. This situation is going to start some gossip for this divine masculine as well too. He's really looking for fame. Really this materialism things here. And he's going to get kind of that fame in the wrong way. And that's funny. It's a materialism next to that. So he's going to get it that way. So he's going to have to, from what's going on here, he's going to have to start that fool's journey here, which is again starting back at one, starting off with nothing and moving on into something as well. Is there something else that you want to tell us too about what's going on with this divine masculine? And then we're going to get into some solutions from spirit with this one. Make it clear, make it plain. What else do you want to say about him? Again, he's got to find something that he's romantic about in his emotions, which is you. To me, it looks like a wave here, which is going to help to propel him to be able to push forward. He's also going to have to, romance can also stand for magic too. So he's going to have to, he got the weight of the shoulders, weight of the world on his shoulders, because I can feel it. The romance, which means getting to the feeling, the flow, and the movement of it, being able to do that. And it seems like Spirit is telling me that's going to help to kind of propel him to kind of move on. And he's got to get passionate about this move, because before he had been very complacent about it. Everybody can tell him about what's going on with him, and he's got to move into that energy of understanding that that's where he needs to go next on this. It's really about that. What's going to happen to this friend? I'm kind of interested in that one. What's happening with the friend? Children. To be, I guess, like well, he might have end up being pregnant with that from that Thotalina, as he calls it, as well too. He's going to cause some confusion. He's going to start some confusion. Now, I ain't got no minute right now. He's going to start some confusion, and it's going to be a conflict about in his thinking here. He might even find himself, after he done did that dirty deed, he going to find himself in hermit mode, where he just going to kind of go off and kind of think about all this destruction. You know, that's just like a person. I come here and start mess, and most of the time they start the mess and they keep on walking, like I dropped it and then I'm off on my own. But he's going to be education. He's going to be educated by the whole situation. These are my tarot deconstructed for divine unisouls cards here as well that I'm using. So if you like that, these are available on divineunisols.co as well. This is good for those who are beginning tarots. Let's get into also the solutions too. I want to see what's the solution Spirit says that this divine masculine's got to get to do. I know I bought it here. Okay. What is, I asked about the, that was earlier, then I had to stop. So what divinity does Spirit, is this it? Yeah. Clear. Okay, hold on a second. This is not really the card I wanted. Hold on one second. What's the shadow that he's got to deal with this whole situation? Somebody said being truthful, stop being, stop it. Somebody said stop going around and deal with that sexuality, which is true. They do. They called it somebody else, but I'm not going to do that to the divine masculine. His shadow is that he's fragmented, and he's got to handle these divine masculine energies here, which is, again, he's got to get, again, being able to, again, handle the sacred, the roots, get grounded and rooted in things, because he's letting everything, even the friends, sway him. He's got to be able to get in touch with his sacred, which is how he is healthily relating to other people in a sexual way, or just relating in general, how he's able to manifest things instead of being codependent on this karmic feminine to be able to help get him along, to get along. And then he's also got to be able to stand in his power in his solar plexus as well. All those things, once he's got that together, he's got the keys to get out of that situation. Okay, so that's what he's dealing with. And then oh, sorry, this is in the wrong box. I'm like, why I got so much room in it? No wonder. Okay, and then okay, clear. What's the divinity that Spirit said he's got to work with? That's funny. By Thor. You got to put that pimp hand down, and he got to create some action. You got the goat here, which means to get grounded on some things. And then also on top of that, he's got to get to the point that he's got to be like a ram. He's got to have some action, just like an Aries. Those are the two energies that he's got to do in order. And it looks like Spirit said they're going to help to give him that action. Spirit and Source is there to give him that power, but he's got to choose to be able to do that. Okay. What things does he need to surrender? Okay. What life changes is he going to go after this next? Clear. Some light changes, heaven, some heavenly signs, some things that's going to help him to kind of help him act as markers. Heaven is going to kind of like spiritual guides, his teams is going to start, and ancestors are going to start intervening, giving him signs like signposts. Do this next. Now do this next. Now do this next. So he says a new career too. A new way of working. He might also find him a new workplace too as well, because he's got to be able to financially be able to handle himself. I mean, instead of him depending on this karmic to get him through, he's got to get to the point that he can be able to create his own without leaning on the divine, this karmic, the divine feminine or the karmic, to the divine feminine for sex to heal him, depending on the karmic for sex and money to heal him, according to Boss Tarot, and depending on the friend for advice instead of him paying attention to himself, and then depending on outside people to fill in this void that he needs to fill himself. Okay, what does he need to surrender? Surrender the idea you can fix someone. It's time for a relationship to shift. It doesn't work to try to fix someone. Each person must be accountable for his or her own healing. This is in reference to several things. He feels in some ways, in another way, by him being with his friends and kind of toting off to be this egotistical person. Then in some ways he feels like I'm kind of giving to myself because, again, I'm divine. And in some ways I am helping you out by me being an example to you. And like they said, and his friends like, hey, you ain't no example. You just as low as the rest of us. I don't know what you're trying to act like you better than us, but you one of us. Okay, so that's one thing. He wants to also feels like he can be able to help the karmic as well. He's been in that situation, think that he can heal, but you can't do that. Like my mom said, you go into situations, you think that you can change that person and find out you be the one to be changed, be taking popping pills and all them things for your anxiety dealing with the karmic, you know, and you coming out on the bar saying, maybe the lady that he was messing with, according to Boss Tarot, felt like maybe that connection was helping him out in the long run, and he was helping her out. She might give some sad story or whatever like that. And so he figured, a lot of times, sometimes divine masculines, not all of them, have this thing because they feel internally, I'm supposed to help the divine feminine. And I've had that, and I've listened to divine masters that I know of, and they feel that way. They feel they're supposed to be a service. They're supposed to be helping them, getting them to a certain place within them. And sometimes that's, again, that's not your job. You do that, that's it. Is not continue on to do that, in whatever way, shape, or form it is, to ignite them, to awaken them, to get them in a certain place spiritually or sacredly or whatever it is. But sometimes that can burn you in the process. And this family member that they was talking about, this mother that's sick, this father that's sick, these kids, them grown kids or them small kids, they're pulling on your resources too. And like I said, almost just like they tell you on the airplane, you can't help nobody. You got to get that air mask and everything on yourself first, and then you can in turn help the children and those ones that need assistance. And that's where you got to, and that's the only way you can be a service and help to anybody else is if you have your stuff together. Okay, this is the message that they have. I thank you so very much to Boss Tarot too as well. Again, if you like how he was rocking, please subscribe to his channel as well. Please make sure you like and click and hit the notification bell on that if you like. This is another aspect. If you see a video and you want me to put my 22 cents on it, send it to me. Go to divineunisoul's11@gmail.com. Send me the video and say, hey, I would like to see what your perspective is on that or your reaction to this video. This is fun. I got a couple of more that I'm doing, and one I'm going to do on the other channel for them as well. But I think it's a very good, nice way to kind of say, I'm giving homage, that I see another reader's tipping her hat to another reader, say, hey, I like what you're doing. I just want to add on to your flow and add my gifts to your thing, to saying, I like that. And I think here's another thing, maybe it's another aspect to help out for the collective, because we're a community. We're helping each other to really make sure that you're getting the best possible outcome or results as far as you on this twin flame adventure, so you can be at union with yourself and with your person. Don't forget the 2 assets going to follow up behind this about getting your twin flame union as well, if you want a reading on that to know when that's going to happen, and also your letter from your divine unisouls, which is 20. Both of them are $22 each. All right then, as always, stay uplifted, stay motivated, stay ascended. Namaste, and I'ma go. Love you.
Okay.